Hello everyone, and today I saw the movie Fury, and basically Fury is about a tank from World War II, and it has a bunch of, like a squadron of 5 people inside of it, and basically a bunch of shit happens to these characters within the film, and that basically covers the plot. Now, the characters are actually really good. First off, you have Brad Pitt as the main lead character, and I love me Brad Pitt. It's like Brad Pitt is for me one of my favorite actors within Hollywood right now, and he's such a fantastic actor. It's like when he's on screen, in my opinion, he's just like has a lot of huge presence, like a lot of authority and a lot of respect and a lot of adultness within himself. Like I know that's really weird to say, adultness, but I mean like when you see him, he's like a man who's like you assume who's very mature, and when you assume you're just like, whoa, I want to follow him into the battle regardless, no matter what. And it's like, it's awesome. I really love this character. He just seems so cool and confident. And then you move on to Michael Pena's character, and he is a very lighthearted and fun type of character. And basically, he's that type of guy who would always do like the certain like one-liners and be like kind of funny and charming, but he would also be quite serious at times. And he's a really great character too, and he gives a very solid performance. And then you also have Shane from Walking Dead, and I'm just like, awesome. That's brilliant casting. That is so cool. And he really plays this real like asshole type of Southern American character. And he's quite like a hillbilly in a sense. And you're just like, there's moments when you want to punch him in the face, but at times the film gives you reasons why he acts like that, and it's just brilliantly well done. And there's great explanations for why these certain characters behave in certain manners. And then you also have Shia LaBeouf's character, who's very religious and very sympathetic and caring and very like he's like the character who gets so emotionally attached to everything. And I really wanted to hate his character because I do not like Shia LaBeouf at all, mainly because of the Transformers movies. But in this film, he gives a very solid performance where I really had a lot of sympathy and a care for his character. I'm like, by the end, I'm just like, he just wants to care for everyone in this group. Like, he really wants for everyone to bond. And it shows like a great scenes within the film. Shows a lot of great tension and suspense and like a lot of tenacity between his characters. And he's just like, okay, we gotta keep it calm. He just seemed that character to me, and he was very good with what he was given. And then we go to Logan Lerman's character from that you may know from I know him from the Percy Jackson movies, which are not that great. They're pretty bad films. And he was also in Perks of Being a Wildflower, which is an excellent movie, by the way. That's an excellent movie. Check it out if you can. And I really like this character a lot because he reminded me of myself. Like he's like this new character who comes in early established within the film. And it's like he was tossed into this certain position in the war, and he's just like, whoa, I wasn't properly trained. I never even shot a gun. I never even killed a person. And he really is with his character. It's just like that situation is like you can truly sympathize with that. It's like a character who no one really cares for, and says, you know what, we don't give a shit where you come from, dude. You're just another person to me, and you may just be expendable. And I like that. It shows a lot of and a lot of suspense within the group. And one of the things I really like about this film is that it shows the real harshness and the real deprivation, the real suffering that a lot of the Americans had during World War II, because granted, they were deep within Germany, but it showed just how abusive and how goddamn scared they were to die. And you really understand that, and it really paints a brilliant image of it doesn't matter what military force it may be, military, navy, airborne, and it could be from any country. It doesn't matter. There's going to be a lot of pressure, and there's going to be a lot of moments where you really, really feel like this could be the end for me. Like, I may die today. Like what will this today bring for me? And it shows just because the enemy is out there trying to kill you doesn't mean that there's people on your side who are going to help you. There is some people who are going to throw you under the bus just to overcome their mission, and that shows extreme limits and extreme dedication that these soldiers have, and I really like that and portrayed it very, very well within the film. And one of the things I love about this film is that like the first 50 minutes had excellent pacing. I loved the pacing within the first half of the film. Why the first half, not the second half? Because the second half seemed a lot more reserved. As it got to a certain environment and it stayed there. And I really, really liked that, and it really did that very, very, very well. And it just showed it so brilliantly, and I really, really enjoyed that a lot. And it just, for me personally, is like the first, like how I said, the first 15 minutes, for me, really felt like a period piece. It really felt like they were trying to get you sucked into the atmosphere. It didn't oversell it with CG effects. Like, some of the cinematography and the directing was truly breathtaking at times. I'm just like you could really feel like you're breathing. Like, you really feels like you're put into this environment. It's done that greatly well in the film. I think that this film has a lot of great things within itself. However, the film is not perfect. I have a few problems with this film. Number one is that it shows a group character first. The character played by Logan Lerman, and he's put into this squadron of our characters, and it shows that the film is like over like 2 or 3 days. It needs to be a lot longer than that, because by the end of here, all like, we will accept each other, we are comrades, we will die for each other, and we will fall in combat for each other and our country. And it's just like, through the certain days it goes. Granted, they bonded a lot at times, because they're in a tank and it's a very, very close environment. But it seemed like it was such a short amount of the days they were in, it didn't seem that believable to me. Now, if they went to the angle where like, like within the last climax of the film was like that huge battle, at that point, if I was making this film, I would be like, they were still treating pretty shaky, but it's like, we now see the importance of your character now. We are not going to accept you. And if they did that, in my view, that would have been a lot more smarter. But but it was like by halfway, they were kind of like already accepting him. I'm just like, that's not realistic. Armies within that time of period, like just in a few days, you can't become that close. And I do not believe they can get that close within just a amount of those certain few days. And that really took me out. And my another problem I have with the film is that, is the door closed? Yes. Another problem I have with the film is that I thought the way ending. Actually, I do like the ending, but I wish it ended on a bit of a better note, because it seemed a bit too abrupt on the way it ended. I want to see a bit more of a solid conclusion to what really happened. Granted, it happened near the very end, like very, very near the end of World War II, but it doesn't seem so conclusive. It seems like it's really missing that last final stamp within the story. Now, one of the things, actually, I will say, for me, that kind of did ruin the way the film felt for me. And my last problem I have with the film is that it seemed like it felt kind of generic at times. It felt like, and of course it does have those type of war type of movie cliches. Like, oh, the leader being an asshole to the new guy, or like with all those backwards and stupid dialogue at times. Like, I will admit, I love the writing at times within the film. Like, the way they speak to each other is really, really good. But then at times it seems kind of cringeworthy. And then for me, it seemed like it was just being kind of generic for me at times. So I'm not seeing the film as like a dull movie because it's not. I felt very, very good with. I love this movie, but for me, it had some pretty big problems, and by the end, it does hamper the film down. But I will say, this film gets probably an S an 80%. That's what I'm saying right now. It's getting an 80%. It has some big problems, and granted, at times I didn't feel that special, but well, who the hell am I to say that didn't feel special? I know this film had genuine effort put into it. And by the end, it seemed like their hard work paid off greatly. I really loved this film, and I really, really respect it for what it did. In the end, that's my rating for the film. I give Fury, in my opinion, a 80%. Actually, no, I give the film a 78%. It's really, really good. Yes. I'm so sorry if I'm going so back and forth on the rating. You want here it is. I'll just give it a straight up 82%. That's what I feel about the film, and thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my review of Fury. And yeah, and I really hope you see it. And if you haven't seen this film already or not, I would highly recommend it to you. It's really, really great, and I personally have a huge love for World War II films. And thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, and remember, stay strong.